Welcome everyone to the Gruesome Twosome, which is currently the Gruesome Lonesome. I am your host right now. I am Otis Dankey Bongs Vantera, and I am going to be bringing to you a game around 30 minutes in. But it's New Year. We haven't been able to say which horror films I'm looking forward to this year, and that's something that I really want to bring to you. Dankey's top 5 most anticipated horror films of this year, and I think number one might be no one's surprise. People who know me and my history with what I like in film, I don't think number one's going to be much of a surprise. For people who are just tuning in for the first time, this is usually a podcast I share with my best friend, Austin, but sadly, Austin is not in tonight due to other commitments. So, 2025 looks like a stellar year for horror films. It looks like we're getting a lot of sequels. The problem with a lot of sequels is if you haven't seen the first movie, you're probably not excited to see a part 2 if you don't know the story going on. So I'll start off with some honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention, and this is going to surprise a lot of people because this is seen as everyone's top number one. I do have to get it out of the way before we start. Is going to be 28 weeks or 28 years later. This one is on top of a lot of people's watch list. I'm excited for this. This is a movie that I think a lot of people have joked about. 28 days later, then 28 weeks later, then 28 months later, and I'm pretty sure someone said, 28 years later, 28 decades later. But I am excited to see 28 years later.
That one kinda came out nowhere.
Yeah, I'm pumped for that one. Excited. I'm just gonna go by the list I wrote for the rest of them because I do have to put 28 years later because that's seen as such a movie everyone wants to see. Hold on, really like this. All right, I do have the release dates for a lot of these. 28 weeks later is going to be in theaters on June 20th. I am excited to see that one. See where that one really takes us. See where we go with that one. For people who are wondering right now, we would have been doing our Thing review, which is still happening, but that's going to happen when Austin is here. So, going with the list of honorable mentions, we have Sinners. This is a film that is shot during Jim Crow. It stars Michael B. Jordan in 2 roles, and it looks very interesting. They haven't really showed much of what the story is going to be about, but with having a black man during Jim Crow law, there will be some racial tensions going into the movie. I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited to view it. Saw 11 is scheduled for September 26th. It has original actor who played Jigsaw in it. That's another movie I am excited to see. The Conjuring Last Rites, September 5th. This is part of the Conjuring series of films that started all the way back in 2013, somewhere around there. That one looks very interesting as well. I still have to get.
I still haven't watched Saw 10.
Yeah, the Saw ones. I'm probably gonna like review and sit down and maybe do a deep dive into the Saw series. Talk about a lot of torture porn, as it was once called. Uh, Going back to the Conjuring series, these are movies that have done Annabelle and a handful of other Conjuring. Um, the Conjuring I didn't see because I kind of saw it as like almost rip off of Paranormal Activities. I want to say that I was wrong. So the Black Phone 2, I still have to see the Black Phone number 1. So I did not put Black Phone 2 on my most anticipated watch list. Megan 2.0. Oh, Black Phone, I should say, is releasing October 17th. And The Conjuring is September. Megan 2.0 is scheduled for June 27th. I just watched the new one the first one not too long ago. I am going to say the first Megan movie was all right. I was expecting a little bit more scares and all that stuff. So hopefully that movie was just setting up for other movies down the line. Insidious 6 is scheduled for August 29th. And then we have a Five Night at Freddy's. Now, those are my honorable mentions. Sinners, 11, 28 Years Later, Presence, Conjuring Last Rites, Black Phone 2, Megan 2.0, Insidious 6, and then Five Nights at Freddy number 2. So, let's get on with my list. Number 5. All right. So the first one I'm going to say is probably a film not on everyone's radar. But with being a pro wrestling fan, it is on my radar. It is a film that is a Shudder original. It's called Dark Match. The premise of this film is, from what the trailers look like, is these group of wrestlers are going to a local indie show, and they look like they're doing kind of like a Saw kind of vibe movie, where you're going to get, I think a lot of these matches are quote unquote death matches, but in the literal terms of a death match. It looks really good. I cannot wait to check it out. I'm a fan of Jericho's, so we will see how that movie goes. Dark Match is being released January 31st, so it's not a long wait to see this movie. It's under 2 weeks away, and I'm pumped to see this movie. It is hopefully going to be the best mix of pro wrestling meets horror. It looks like we might have some actual wrestlers in that movie as well. One of the guys that in that movie looks a lot like the guy that does the Tour of Death in Upper Manitoba. If it's not Tony, I apologize, but that movie is going to look very. It's on Shudder, so it's going to look very more grindhouse more than anything. I am excited to see that one. There's not much more to talk about. Maybe we'll run a trailer of that one in a bit. Maybe we can run it right now. So let's do that. For the actual movies that I'm pumped about, let's run the trailers. This is, I kid you not, this was a movie I just saw.
Who here's ready for some wrestling?
Hey, there's my favorite wrestler. Tomorrow night is gonna be a barn burner. Where exactly are we headed?
As far as I know, a real rural spot.
Welcome. Welcome.
Is it just me, or is there something off about this place?
Everyone is here for you.
Okay, focus up. Have a good show. Boys, you're up first.
I'm thick. I'm thin. We're in.
People told me that pro wrestling was fake. Pro wrestling is about sacrifice.
Crowd's bonkers.
Let the celebration begin! Only one walks away. This isn't a game.
We need to get the hell out of here.
My children.
Oh my God, Stephen Hawking.
Starting the talent.
5
Yeah,
offerings.
this is looking really good.
You really think you're getting out of here alive?
With your sacrifice, the Dark Lord shall arrive.
He's recording these. He's making copies.
This is a snuff film.
I told you it'd be a barn burner.
I don't have to do this.
I can't die in the ring.
So this is number 5 for me.
Okay.
You can't hide.
I'm not running.
It ain't over until one of you's eliminated.
What do you want?
Number 4. Number 4 is one of the movies that has me excited, but it has me excited because it's Stephen King adaptation. It is called The Monkey. It is about it looks like it's about a possessed doll, which happens to be one of those clapping monkey dolls. It is written by the godfather of horror, Stephen King. A lot of people might not know I am a huge Stephen King film guy. Some of my favorites being The Shining, the original It. He had Maximum Overdrive, but I like Maximum Overdrive for all the wrong reasons. I like it because it's just so cringe, but still really good. Other non-horror movies from Stephen King that I quite enjoy are The Green Mile and The Shawshank Redemption. Both are really well put together. And this one looks like it's going to be a really fun movie. It is scheduled to release next month on February 21st. But without further ado, I will play this trailer and let you guys judge it for yourselves.
For the longest time, there was nothing. But then it appeared. A beast not from this earth, smiting the ones who deserved it, the ones who didn't. And everyone in between. Whoever controls it controls life and death. And those deaths are really fucked up.
Holy sh!
Everybody dies. And that's life.
Oh,
There's a goddamn mess in there. Have you been up there? It's like that restaurant. Spaghetti City.
Everything okay up there?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Come on, baby, let's have some fun.
So as you can see, February 21st, this movie comes out. I'm excited to see it because, again, it's your classic.
Is this based on Monkey Shines?
I believe so. Let me just kind of Google the monkey right now. Monkey. Because it will have more inspiration. that film, based on the 1980 short The Monkey by Stephen King. It stars Theo James, Tatina Maslany, Elijah Wood, Kristen Cavere, Colin O'Brien, Ronna Campbell, and Sarah Levy. So this one looks like it's really good. After stumbling upon a father's vintage toy monkey in the attic, twin brothers Hal and Bill witness a string of horrifying deaths unfolding around them. In an attempt to leave the haunting behind, the brothers discard the monkey and pursue separate paths over time. However, when the unacceptable deaths resurface, both brothers are compelled to reconcile and embark on a mission to permanently eliminate the cursed toy. I'm really excited to see how that one's going to turn. Number 3. The next film on this list, number 3, isn't based on the fact that I'm excited another one of these films is coming out, but I'm saddened by this is going to be the last time we get to see Tony Todd in a Final Destination film. A lot of stuff I have already said about Tony Todd being one of the best horror icons as the Candyman, and even as the director of Death in the Final Destination films. So we're going to be hit with that. It's going to be a hopefully good film, but at the same time, for us horror nuts, it's going to be a sad time that we get to see him portray this guy again. So I want to be sure. This one is a to be determined. I don't think have been given.
It all began with a bloodline.
An actual
a legacy of death. And once marked, it never leaves you.
I don't know if this is actually the trailer. It's the first one on YouTube.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
We can't escape it.
Death doesn't forget.
There he is.
Once it starts, the blood never stops.
There's no breaking this, only surviving.
I'm dead.
Death is in your blood.
I don't think they're going to tell us when this is either. Yeah, it just says coming soon. So that's another one that's really cool and upcoming that I'm excited for. Final Destination, for a lot of people that don't know, for the longest time, I only had like a collection of 5 to 6 horror films, and one that I would constantly play would be Final Destination 3. It did kind of make me more of a chicken when it comes to amusement park rides and all that stuff. Sadly, I don't think Tony Todd is Final Destination 3. They had this DVD where they almost had like a DVD game where you yourself were helping guide
May 16th.
May 16th? Perfect. May 16th for Final Destination 6. And let's see. So far, we have Dark Match, The Monkey, and Final Destination Bloodline on the list. I will let everyone know.
Nice near my birthday.
Number 2. I will let everyone know that the next 2 movies, I'm more excited based on the fact that both of them come from the old school Universal monster movies. They're both remakes. So I'll start with the one I'm probably going to be able to see first. It is The Wolfman. The Wolfman, this one follows a father after he gets infected. And it has it where it's like, is the urge from this curse going to let him kill his family? And I love the fact that they're going back to the Universal monster movie, and they started this with not with I believe they started this with The Mummy, the one that came out 5-6 years ago, and they started doing next one they did was, I believe, The Invisible Man. So right now they're remaking, releasing these movies, because sadly a lot of these movies, unless you have ways of watching the classic Universal monster movies, a lot of these movies are lost to time. A lot of these movies,
They started the Dark Universe, then dropped it quickly.
Yeah. Not really the Dark Universe I'm talking about, more kind of like the fact that they're going back, and I guess The Mummy's one of the worst examples, because when you say The Mummy, a lot of people think Brandon Fraser's Mummy series. I'm talking about the original collection of Marvel movies, monster movies that started in the 1930s, and right now they have 2 in the works, which both of them have kind of taken my number 1 and number 2 spot. So with The Wolfman, not a lot of people might remember.
Boris Karloff all the way.
Oh, yeah. I do want to see how they're going to... I'll get to that one in a second. But with The Wolfman, you have it where he was in like 3 movies, and then he was in a lot of Wolfman and Frankenstein and Wolfman meets, like they have all these movies, and they used to release these movies. I'm talking like I was back in the 30s when I was experiencing my adolescence. No, this is coming from historical stuff. These movies were kind of released almost like yearly. So the next movie I have to say I'm excited to see is Wolfman.
Ginger? Ginger, are you okay? Look at me. Look at me. So, are you hurt? Are you hurt? Are you okay? Hey, we gotta get out of this thing.
This is scene? The
Hey,
official
no.
trailer.
Don't move. Climb up through the window right there. You can do it. You'll be okay. You okay? We have to leave right now. Run.
Hello? Did anyone hear me? Hello? We were in an accident.
Daddy, are we gonna die?
No, it's my job to protect you.
And we were attacked. I think my husband was infected. Blake. Blake. Blake.
Daddy. Daddy. What's wrong with Daddy?
He got sick.
What is happening to me?
Can you understand me? Yeah. You're scaring me.
Please, Daddy is mean. Hurry, Mommy is coming.
So that one's coming out next week. So I'm pumped for that one. That one's going to be hopefully really good. So Wolfman, I'll tell you some history I have with this. I always love werewolf movies. Werewolf movies always are just kind of like goes back to Werewolf in London. The transformation scene are always so cool to see in these movies. I'm excited because, much like moderator Rob has stated, the Dark Universe might have been canceled, but I don't think the movies are going anywhere. I think they're still going to be making these movies just to see what they can get. A lot of these movies I'm excited to see because you could go back and watch these old ones, but again, they are hard to find unless you have like a monster movie collection or you have some streaming sites that allow you to kind of go past and actually see these movies. We can't really see these movies. So, anything more on Wolfman? Or we on the Wolfman? Oh, this goes back to 1924. And then there's 1941 films of the Wolfman. That's kind of the one I'm talking about, where it's a really good one. And then we have a 2010 one. I have not seen that 2010 one, but it's supposed to be a remake of the 1941. This does not look like it has anything to do with the 1941 movie. Premise: family man Blake relocates from San Francisco to Oregon with his workaholic wife Charlotte and daughter Ginger. Ginger, like Ginger Snaps. Oh God, maybe this is a freaking prequel to Ginger Snaps. After inheriting his childhood home, left vacant following an estranged father's mysterious disappearance and presumed death. At the farmhouse at night during a full moon, the family is attacked by a werewolf that claws Blake's arm. They barricade themselves inside the home, but soon Blake begins to transform into something horrifying, jeopardizing the safety of his wife and daughter. Going to go out on a limb here and maybe spoil the movie before it comes out. I think the grandfather is already other. Maybe too much foreshadowing here, but I think that is how the 2025 Wolfman is going to end. We find out that the grandfather is another werewolf. All right. Moving right along. This is the last movie of Dankey's top 5 movies he wants to see. To go back through them, we have Dark Match, The Monkey, Final Destination, Wolfman, number 1. And for those who don't know me that well, I'm more pumped at this coming. And all I'm doing is I'm praying that this is as good as it can be. It has to be. Because this is the most famous monster. And I mean monster as in, like, this is the most famous man-made monster in cinema. Let's go to the trailer. This is my top number 1.
What is a man if not a god denied his creation? Life, fragile as it is, bends to the will of science and obsession. The boundary between genius and madness is razor thin, and I have walked it alone. I believe there's an invisible bridge between life and death.
You gave me life, but abandoned me to despair. You are my creator. Responsibility is yours.
Your ambition is a tide, Victor, and it drowns everything in its wake.
I learned the ways of your world and found only cruelty.
Being a life partner to a mind-lost scientist is not an easy job. Even the purest heart can become the casualty of a monster.
The line between man and monster will blur as vengeance takes shape.
Oh. Why am I more excited about this movie than any other movie this year? This is because the director of Frankenstein is none other, and I always mispronounce his name. This is like the one kid going to school and he doesn't have all of his notes prepared. Gotta find it. Where is it? No. Come on. Do they not even have a Wikipedia page for it? All right, here we go. So, Victor Frankenstein strives to restore life to a dead and succeeds in creating a horrific creature. This is the reason I'm excited to see this one. Is I'm just going to put his name up here. Make sure that my fucking thing reads this because I always mispronounce his name and people always call him Del.
Guillermo del Toro.
I call him Del Toro. If you guys don't know Del Toro, he is really good. Really fucking good at making monster films, of making his monsters come to life. Some of my all-time favorite films from him, I don't even have to look this up. I'll give you 3 really good films to go check out right now to tell me he will not make a good Frankenstein film. Okay, he's got, ready for this? Hellboy. He has Pan's Labyrinth, and he has Blade 2. Okay, with just what he's done so far with even classic vampires in Blade 2, he's taken a vampire and he made it more creepy. He made it more like sinister in a way when vampires were seen kind of like, oh, it's Lost Boys, they're so dreamy. No, he took the vampire, he made him bald, and he made their fucking jaws split open like that. And it's a superhero film, but hey, it's got some freaking horror elements to it. Of course, I'm gonna watch that one. Pan's Labyrinth, very classic. I will tell people this: it took me 2 times to watch that film because I'm one of those guys that give me the dub. Is there a dub? Can I just get English instead of language? Like it. My bad with Seven Samurai 2. I had to rewatch that film, and it's just like reading the bottom, and it's just fuck. This sucks. And then going with that's Pan's Labyrinth. Like it's really good. Got that classic scene of monster putting eyes in his hands and going like that and looking around like, oh man. And then the other one I said, Hellboy. Haven't seen Hellboy? You're in for a treat. It's got Ron Perlman as the Telichko. There I go again using big words that I don't know. Ron Perlman as the lovable Hellboy, and at that point when I was a kid, it was like one of the coolest action hero films out there because he's battling like these giant monsters. So good. So
Hellboy was such a fun movie.
Oh, it's such a fun movie. So with Del Toro being behind the director's chair of this Frankenstein film coming out sometime in 2025, and I think since they don't have a release date right now, it might fit under the Nosferatu movies, where it will most likely be released during Christmas, November of next year. I know it's kind of cliche to say, "Oh, I'm pumped for Frankenstein," but that's the movie that's got me, man. I like how they still have their Wikipedia page saying that this is a horror film. So this is a gothic science fiction horror film. It looks so good. I do want to see this because he has done Frankenstein in the sense of the original Hellboy movie, where this thing's been called a monster by everything out there. Hellboy believes that he's a monster, and there's a point in that film where he gets like these sick ass horns going back. He's got like a ball of fire on the back of it, and he's trying to do one guy's trying to do a ritual and all that stuff, and the one character's like, remember who you want to be, remember not what is prophesized about you, but who you want to be. And it just fits so well in a Frankenstein-esque. I do believe Del Toro will give us a revelance of the original book of who was man, or who was a man and who was the monster. That's what I'm excited for. Anyways, guys, we'll go through the list one last time. So I'm hyped for Dark Match. Dark Match is probably going to be my favorite out of all of these films. Dark Match, of course, is that indie wrestling film, or indie wrestling horror film that's coming out on Shudder on January 31st. The next one was The Monkey. This is your classic Stephen King Iron movie that is being released on February 21st. Then we had Final Destination Bloodline, which, thanks to Mod Rob, we have a release date of May 16th. Personally, I cannot wait for the Wolfman, which was our number 2. That is coming out this Friday, January 17th. It looks really good from my point of view. It doesn't tell the actual story of the Wolfman. It tells almost like a cabin in the woods-esque, or not cabin in the woods, Shining-esque movie, where it looks like that. That's probably what my review will be. Is they took Jack, I think the actual guy's name is Jack in the film too. They took Jack and they made him into a werewolf, and he's stalking his family around this farmyard of his dad's. So I'm excited to see that one. And then finally, because who's attached to direct is Frankenstein on number 1. It's Del Toro. All right, guys, that's going to do it for my top 5 most anticipated films of 2025. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.